Hello YouTube, this is Gandalf the Teal, and today we will be taking apart and painting a PS4 controller. And as you can see, this is a perfectly fine working controller, and hopefully when we put it back together, it will be working then as well. So right now you're going to have to take out the 4 screws, which are at the bottom rights and lefts also. So you need a special screwdriver. You need the 000 Phillips head. It's very particular. If you use any other one, you'll probably strip the screws. So I'll just fast forward through this stuff. Don't really need anything special right here. You should know how to take out a screw, otherwise you shouldn't be taking apart a controller. Oh, and also that magnetic bowl is very great if you want to keep track of your screws, because you do not want to be losing these things. Okay, so now he's going to crack it open, and you take out the sides. Sorry, I had to take it out. I couldn't get it on camera because I really had to use my hands. So you pull up basically on where you rest the palms of your hands, and pull up around the sides. So when you crack it open, you see a bunch of stuff you probably don't know what it is really. And I didn't either, but you just have to know how to take it apart. You don't have to know how it works. Now this is the reset button. Don't want to lose that. So right now I'll disconnect the light bar, and I'm going to set aside the bottom part of this controller because we're not painting that part. It looks better, and I want to keep the grip as like it is naturally, so painting it would just get rid of that. Now we're going to unplug the battery pack. It's pretty thick. The PS4 controller uses a lot of energy, so it has to be thick. Made in China, of course. And now we have the motherboard, and there's one screw in the center. It's still the 000 Phillips head, so we're just going to take that out right now. And that's all the screws that are going to be in this controller. Only 5 of them. PS3 had 5 just on the outside, I remember. And now this main motherboard, everything should just pop right out. Something holding it back. You have to unplug the touchpad as well. There's a ribbon wire which connects to the main motherboard. You just have to pull it out. I'd use tweezers. There it is right there. I just use tweezers just to pull out very carefully. First thing I tried was the Swiss Army knife. Didn't work, so you have to get real pair of tweezers. Or needle nose pliers also work as well, and pulls right out. And out comes the motherboard, all the goodness, rumble features. Oh, this is the share or options button, the same thing. You don't have to remember which one's which because they are keyed. There's the other one. And the main part just pops right out. We're going to set that aside. We don't want to get that dirty or anything because we do want it to work. And with the touchpad, you just have to push out on the front part, and it flips right out like that. So now we have the membranes, and if you've ever taken apart a controller, you should know what these look like. You just pop out the buttons. They are keyed, so there's no real wrong way to put them in. Take out the membrane that's behind the D-pad. And then all we have is the PlayStation button. Now all these things are put together by pegs, so there's no real wrong way to put them back in together when we do have to do that. And here we have the controller, which we would be painting, just the outer shell. Next step, we will be painting it a nice orange. So in painting it, you don't want to put it all on at once. You have to take multiple coats, otherwise there will be drips, which won't look good at all. So here's an orange. Just go back, passing sweeps really, really quickly. You don't have to rush it because you really want to take your time on these things. So once you paint it, you have to let it dry for, I'd say, about a half an hour. The can's is 15 minutes. And you flip it like this. So now I'll paint the front of it. Now at first it might look really bad, but again, you're going to put multiple coats on. So there is the basic how it will look. Now you're going to keep wanting to rotate this 90 degrees in order to get all angles, if possible. So now we get to put it back together. Now I already put the membranes in, buttons, those are easy. Touchpad, you just have it hook over the front. Make sure it's tightly in place. You don't want it to be wiggly around because that's really uncomfortable when you're actually using it, whichever games actually use it. And you want to make sure you don't pinch the ribbon wire because you are going to have to connect that to the main motherboard before or after. So sorry I can't get this on camera. You have to really use your hands on this. Now I did have some trouble with the triggers, and you probably will too, so I will help you with that. Okay, so now we're going to work on putting the main part into the controller, put it in place, make sure it's tight, you don't want to wiggle around in there at all. There are clips, 2 clips, which are going to be on either side of the touchpad, which you can just slide it right on through there. Takes me a little bit to figure that out. So now that the main motherboard is in place, you can work on putting the touchpad ribbon wire back into the motherboard. Please don't mind my head just trying to get a better view at this. Okay, so this is what it will look like at the end. Looks pretty good so far, but still have some more work to go. And we don't even know if it's going to turn on, so keep your fingers crossed, and we'll be working on this. Get some up. So you're just going to slide the ribbon wire back in. It took me a little bit, so I just cut that, but it's pretty easy. You could probably figure it out. So there it is in, and now we are going to work on putting the battery pack in and all the other fun stuff. Oh, I forgot. You're gonna have to screw the main motherboard back into place. You're gonna have to use the 000 Phillips head for that, and the screws that you hopefully kept track of. If not, you could buy them off eBay. You can buy springs off eBay too if you ever lose those. They're the same as the PS3 springs, at least it looks like to me. So, a lot of people are selling them. So. Okay, so now we're just going to work on getting the back end ready to put on. Make sure you connect the batteries before that. I did it before because I had to go back and fix a trigger, but there's nothing really that's hard about that. And I forgot to put the reset button in actually, so make sure you keep track of all your pieces and you know where they go and when they go in. So I just connected or I'm going to connect the light bar, LED bar. Make sure you see where the metal is on the connector and where it goes plugged into. Otherwise, the light bar will not work at all. Goes in really easily, and now you just have to clip it in. So make sure you look at the front of the bottom and line up where the triggers are and stuff like that. And I had a problem with the trigger, so I'm going to show you how to fix that. So you can see the little spring next to it. You're going to put it on the inside of the trigger. So the spring is going to be on the side that faces the touchpad. And there's going to be a little slot, it's hard to see, you can't even see it, on the controller, on the main motherboard where it goes right into. And then all you have to do is push down on the actual trigger and it'll clip into place. So right now I'm just putting the spring onto the actual trigger itself. And then You can't really see it, but there is a slot. You will be able to see it. And all you have to do is push and click it in. They are very easy to fix once you get the hang of it. So I want to make sure everything's working fine before I close it up. Make sure I put the reset button in. The reset button goes right next to where one of the little clips are, where you just slide the motherboard onto. So it is keyed as well. There are little pieces on the side of it, which make it only go in one certain way. So put the battery pack in place, and then just the ribbon wire, which is the LED bar. Now all you're going to have to do is you're going to have to slide the back on and make sure you start in front so the triggers go on alright. And then there's going to be two clips which kind of get in the way. You just have to slide them in. Make sure you don't push too hard, because if it's not going right away, it means you probably have something stuck, like maybe the battery pack. So you might just want to set that back into place. There's a clip I was talking about which get in the way. You have to push that underneath the bottom of the controller. And if you're painting the bottom, it will get in the way. But other than that, there's no problem with it. Nothing that was wrong. It'll be really easily. So once you get it all lined up, all you have to do is click it into place, and then you have to screw in the screws which go on the bottom. But I don't need to show you that. That's pretty easy stuff. Takes a little bit of manhandling before you get it all lined up correctly. So all you have to do is don't be afraid to push down on the ends. They are keyed, so the clips are going to go in a certain place where the screw actually gets screwed in. And I did that. So you see the light bar is on. The controller works fine. All the buttons work. They're nice. And now I have a pretty cool orange controller. I think it turned out really nice. I like how I didn't paint the bottom, because then you keep the grip in the black color. And it looks really, really good. So thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask in the comments, and I will be sure to answer them to my best ability.